Now, before we begin modding anything on Skyrim, one of the things you need to do is familiarize yourself with the various parts that are going to go under the hood of this game. Skyrim itself is actually, in terms of video games, pretty ancient. This is a game that came out back in late 2011, and now obviously it is early 2018. So, how do you get it to look modern? The way is by extending the heck out of it. That is actually the strength of Bethesda games, and that is that they can be modded. They can be modded fairly easily by your average person. I'm not a programmer. I've got no programming experience other than computer camp back in 1982, where I learned BASIC. You don't need to know BASIC, so there is no, you know, 10 print, Skyrim forever, 20 go to 10, 30 run. That level isn't even, doesn't even exist here. There is some light modification of settings files, the .inis, but if you know how to type, then you know how to do that. That's the level of expertise you need. You need to know how to type. If you can hit Control C and Control V, you can do this. Now, what I've got here is SCSI64, which is you need to make sure it's the SE. Everything we're going to go over is going to have SE in it. That's the special edition. And SKSE allows for more fulsome instructions to be used by the computer. It was a tool that was really basic for the original flavor of Skyrim, but this is now a 64-bit game, not a 32-bit game. So we need to have this. Your best friend to find this is good old Google. You can just type in SKSE64. It'll pull up an installation guide. The installation guide is really good, and really just follow the instructions on it. The most current version here is 200.04. That's 2.00.04. It is alpha. It might break things. It probably won't break things. I'm running it. Nothing's broken. I don't have what is used in the lingo as CTD. That's an acronym you will see often. CTD means crash to desktop. If you do things wrong, you will learn very quickly that you've done something wrong, and that is by a crash to desktop. So if you want to install SKSE64, and you really should, then just Google it. You will get this Steam community installation guide. It will walk you through. It's very good. It works. Follow the steps. I can spend 20 minutes walking through the steps, but honestly, I don't feel like I'd be adding anything, so I'll let you go through that. So SKSE, that's your starting point after you have installed the game. Your next stop is going to be going to a wonderful place, and you will learn to love this place. This is Nexus Mods, aka the Nexus. You can mod Skyrim from within the game. It does have built-in mod repository. I don't use it. It I don't know. It just seems too simplistic. Yes, that sounds snooty, but it doesn't give the level of control that I think really you should be using. So go to Nexus Mods. The first thing you're going to want to do is install Nexus Mod Manager. Again, if you know how to download a program and double click on an executable, then you can do it, and you will actually wind up with this wonderful program This is Nexus Mod Manager. It doesn't look like much. It is fairly basic, fairly ugly, fairly primitive looking. Honestly, it looks like a Windows 95 program, but UIs aren't everything. I know some people like Macs, or PCs, what have you, and they think UIs are God. No, UIs are not. Functionality is everything. That is my snottiness right there. And so, install Nexus Mod Manager. You're going to learn to use this program very quickly. It's actually a very simple program to use. You basically have two major tabs. You've got your download manager down here, and then your mod activation. Download. When it finishes downloading, you double click on it, and then you can see how it's doing. Keep in mind, however, the one thing about Nexus Mod Manager that is bad, arguably bad, is that it does have some memory limitations, and because of that, you are going to wind up with some mods that might not take the first time. So be aware of that. Okay, the next thing you're going to need to do, once you've got your mod manager going, the first stop on it is a mod. It's not a mod, it's an installation guide. And this is called Septim, which, with periods in it to make it an acronym because it's clever. Just a little background on the name. Septim is the name of currency in Elder Scrolls after the Emperor Tiber Septim. That little nerd lore there. Again, this is an installation guide. I'm really not going to go over it step by step, other than to say, do what it tells you to do. Really, do what it tells you to do. If you do 90% of what it tells you to do, you're going to wind up with really what looks like a 2017, 2018 AAA looking game for what is a game that came out in 2011. It's quite remarkable. Some of the things that it's going to do is it will tell you to download a program called SS Edit or SSE Edit, Skyrim Special Edition Edit. This is a program where, again, you will need to do some light programming, but nothing major. This, in fact, as I think about it, you're not really doing any editing in it. You're just going through, and this little program, again, this is a bare bones program up here, and you're only going to use it for these top files, and it's just to clean up some sloppy programming that existed with Skyrim. Yes, it's fun to slam Bethesda for sloppy programming. My attitude is they made a damn good game. They made a game that came out 6 years ago that is still eminently playable nowadays. So, yeah. Are there some wild edits? Sure. Are there some glitches and all sorts of bugs? Absolutely. But if you can come up with a game as great as Skyrim, then and do it without all these things, please go apply to Bethesda. I'm sure they would love to have you. Another little program you're going to need is something called Loot. Loot is load order ordination tree. This is basically going to sort all the plugins that you're going to have. You will wind up with a lot of plugins. You're going to wind up with about 254 active plugins. If you're going to, like me, you're going to wind up with more than 300 mods. You can only have 254 or 255 active at a time. That is one of the quote unquote problems with Skyrim that people blame Bethesda for. Again, if you can do a better job, then put up. You know, the plugins, they all load in a specific order, and you want them to go in a certain order so that they don't, conflict with each other, and thereafter give you the wonderful acronym CTD, which is a load, which is a crash to desktop. Loot ties itself in very nicely with Nexus, and you can actually just wind up going there. Their UI slightly nicer. It's still Windows 95. The difference is that they decided to use the Google Android material design, so it looks pretty. Yeah, it's saying there's a new release. I think I've got the new release. It doesn't really matter. I don't believe I need to sort my stuff, but just for kicks, this is literally all you're going to do when you load loot. This is the level of expertise. It said obviously there was a little master list revision. Those are few and far between, and it decided to, I guess, change one little thing. So I click apply. Boom. And then you close out of it. That's that. I'm closing the Nexus right now just because, and let's get another Nexus going just to see if there was any changes on the number of plugins running. No, it didn't change anything. So as you can see, it's one of those things. Once you set it, you forget it, and that's pretty much all you need to know about that one. Sorry about that sound. I'm just trying to stabilize the microphone. It's wobbling. So those are the very basic things, and then the last thing that Septim's going to walk you through is this. This is ENB, which is a 3D graphics mod. It will basically, this is the special sauce. This turns your McDonald's cheeseburger into a Big Mac. It's actually really, really amazing what it will do. Word of warning is it is extremely graphics intensive. So if you have an older machine, you might want to not use it. I've got a new machine. I do use it. Just so you know, I mean, this is I'm running a GTX 1070 card with 8 gig of video RAM. That's the kind of video card you will need to run all the options, and as a result, you're going to wind up with an absolutely amazing game. A game that will look good, that will run well, and that will be immersive, which brings me to the next point. Immersive. That is the word for Skyrim. Everyone who does stuff on Skyrim, the goal seems to be immersion, meaning that you basically get lost in this. This is a highly addictive game. My wife presently, I think she hates how much time I spend in Skyrim. But that said, if you're looking for a game that has infinite replay value, then you're going to want to go with this game. It really does have that infinite playroom value, and that's that. I'm back now on the Septim page. Now, just so you know, this one right here, SMIM, Static Mesh Improvement Mod, that obviously you do need that. A lot of the things in here are absolutely fantastic. You're going to wind up with a fantastic game. Devote 2, 3, possibly 4 hours to working your way through the Septum Guide, and that's SCSI 64 guide. You're gonna need that time. Um, it does things. It will overhaul how the characters look. It gives you choices. I tell you, I actually prefer this one here, Total Character Makeover. I used to use Wiko, Winsong Immersive, but uh, I've really come to like TCM more, so go with that one. And like I said, the Septum Guide is very good. It's very time intensive. Involves a lot of alt tabbing back and forth. Uh, but it's work. But you wind up with a fantastic game as a result. Uh, it's gonna point you to all of the various mods on on the Nexus. You're gonna want to make sure when it asks you to, you know, he says, "Oh, I use the 4K." I use the 2K. I'm running at I think 3620 by 2048 resolution, and I use the 2K, and it's fantastic. You can do the 4K if you've got you know a Titan 1080 card or two, and you feel like playing a slideshow. Uh, Use the 4K if you're going to do screen archery. If you're not familiar with that lingo, screen archery is people who just take screenshots, which that's what they like to do. That's fine, man. It's photography. Here's another term you might see quite often: old rim. Uh, Again, this podcast really is for Skyrim Special Edition. Special Ed gets a lot of flack from people. Bethesda just decided to do, a reissue. Oh, there's a money grab. It's not a money grab. I bought this game. Actually, I bought this game originally on the 360. When I went back to gaming on the PC, I bought this game on Steam. And then I bought the add-ons, and I think I eventually wound up with the Legendary version. Skyrim Legendary. Now, Skyrim Legendary, I think that wound up costing me a grand total of about $30. And when Special Ed was released, they said anyone who has Legendary gets Special Ed for free. So it's not really a cash grab if they're going to give it for free to existing users. Kind of is the opposite of a cash grab. It's a bonus prize for long-time users. I'm doing that simply because Old Rim, original flavor, Skyrim, whatever you want to call it, is a bit long in the tooth. It does have a more robust mod community, but Special Ed at this point brings you to a better starting point. I think I've run them both. I've run them side by side. I actually find Special Ed to be a little more stable, a little less crashy. So I've really been steering more towards that. Yeah, you can do all sorts of crazy stuff in Old Rim. It has all the mods. Anything that you see in the special edition version of it, you're probably going to find in Old Rim, simply because it was either a port or it's the sandbox that people really like playing in initially. So it will point you to those. Old Rim mods, you're probably going to have to manually input into Nexus Mod Manager. It's not hard. It's an additional step. Instead of double clicking and having the browser do it for you automatically, you're going to wind up clicking on this button here, which is add mod from file. So yeah, it's very difficult. You have an extra button to push. And again, the Septum Guide is your friend. It's a friend who makes a lot of demands on you, but ultimately, it's the best place to be. And once you get that, all this stuff, you're going to wind up with really the game that will carry you through the next 10 years. I've got a backlog of games. Obviously, I use Steam, and anyone who uses Steam has a backlog. My backlog is basically because I just play Skyrim. It's really that addictive. So once you get that going, then you're going to want to launch. Now, I'm going to take a brief break and rejoin back in the game. Okay, so right now I am launching Skyrim. Word of warning, make a desktop shortcut for Skyrim, because once you start using ENB, what you're going to do is you're going to need the shortcut to use the SKSE 64. It will not do that from inside Steam. So again, just make the desktop shortcut. It's easier and you'll use it for forever. So this is obviously Skyrim. Yes, I've changed everything on this. This is, just so you know, this is called Posh Menu Replacer. I think that's the title, Posh, P-O-S-H, like Posh Spice. Type that into the mod into the Nexus, and you will get that. The song is Vocal Done by Malukah, M-A-L-U-K-A-H. If you type Malukah into the Nexus, you will come up with this audio replacer. And just so you know, she is a tremendous Skyrim fan who has done some of the most amazing covers of the music from this game. So I'm gonna load up a game. I had one that I was playing, but that was actually a very highly powered one. I've actually started a new character who I have, called Manos Hands-Of-Fate. Really one of the greatest films ever created, I think. So, anyways, later on I'll walk through all of the various things you can do with the character creation, but this is just to leap into the world of Skyrim. This is the good old load screen. You will come to know, love, and hate the load screen. Basically, they put up models of the stuff in there, and you can rotate it. And this right here, this is what a 2011 game looks like when you mod the dickens out of it in 2018. It is fairly amazing. And, I'm already tired. So, this is my guy. This is Manos Hands-Of-Fate. He is going to be the character I'm going to be doing for this playthrough with as little cheating as possible. He's just some wood elf living out in the woods. And he heard something, so he's going to go check it out. But he's going to check it out in a second. First thing you got to do, once you've gotten everything installed, is you're going to have to actually activate your mods. Sorry about the sound of rain. So you go into your mod configuration. It's going to pull this up. campfire. That's going to be one you're going to want. Everything actually on campfire is already enabled. Yes, it looks ugly. That's because the programmer didn't make it compatible with SCSI 64. Next is Frostfall, which you are going to want to actually have it start. So go and enable it. So now that it's actually running, we'll tinker with that in a little bit. Now, I am running the survival mod from the Creation Club. Again, I'm not going to get into the politics of how it was created. You do need to actually enable this stuff. So, once you do that, now for my guy is actually a wood elf who lives out in the woods. Yeah, he actually gets to get some camping experience. Here's a problem with the survival mod is it wasn't properly set up, so you need to manually put in what food does for you. You're going to eat a lot in this game. A lot. The default value is 380, I put it at 400. Use the defaults on everything else because you have to. So once you do that, hit your B button back out of it. Violins, this is finishing mood, and I don't think you really need to mess with anything there. Everything's pretty nicely done. Vivid Weathers, you will come to know Vivid Weathers through the mod. I actually like a lot of the settings here. I don't tinker with it. I may eventually tinker with it, but your experience will be your experience. The mileage may vary. Sky UI, this is the entire reason to get SCSI 64. Again, set it the way you want. I don't need giant fonts. I'm not that blind. So do that. And so now that you've got that, now that I enabled Frostfall, it said, oh wait, look, now you can actually start the dang thing. B button. B button is going to be how you get into your menu. This is the reason to use SCSI 64. Because this is Sky UI, it makes things a little more organized. And open up my survivor's guide. And now that I've got it, I'm going to read it a little bit. I can back out of it. And oh, there's a wolf somewhere. As you see, you are now prepared for a colder, harsher Skyrim. A lot of your settings are going to be found under your magic menu. So these three are your, I think, really make for the best. Hunterborn is for being able to hunt, skin, and basically do a much better job with the animals of Skyrim. Instead of just, oh look, I killed a deer, I'm going to search it, now I have a pelt, I have some meat. No, I like it to be more, well, immersive. So I run Hunterborn. Hunterborn, I see, has started good hunting. So yeah, get that going. Well, thunder. Enable Frostfall. Everything is enabled. You really just want to check that. I like it to be immersive. I like that preset. And then I manually go in and set things. So, traveling and waiting, fast travel, I disable it. It's a pain in the butt, but, it's a big world out there, and it makes the game, I think, a little more fun. You want to get somewhere, well, you better walk. I do admit that I do sometimes use the COC code. COC is a console code. It means center on cell. You pull up the console by hitting tilde, and that's the console. Then frigid water is lethal. No, that makes everything in the world kill you. I prefer exposure lethality. There's no point in doing the nothing setting. Death, I'm not there yet. So I do rescue. It's actually kind of fun. When you pass out from the cold, you will wind up in some other place in Skyrim. It's pretty nice. So, pause exposure during dialogue. Yes. Otherwise, it's just annoying. Pause exposure in combat. You don't need to freeze to death while people are trying to kill you. Movement. You want to enable this, I think. When you're climbing up the 10,000 steps and there's a blizzard and you're freezing to death, it actually makes it a little more fun. A little more, realistic. It's very enjoyable. So now that you've got the Frostfall set, you can exit out of that. And I went the wrong way. Go back into your magic. Double check on your campfire. What do you want to configure in campfire? These, nothing really needs to be changed there. Camping legality, illegal in settled areas. I keep it enabled. You're sitting, you got a town, and someone decides to put up a tent. The authorities aren't going to be happy. Equipment can burn. Put that there. It's actually kind of fun. If you think you're going to be clever and put your nice fur tent right by your roaring campfire, you will wake up with a burned down tent. Campfire building, yeah, make it realistic. It's fun. It really is. Then that's pretty much that for in the advanced, I max out the threads. This is the number of computing threads it will use to set up a tent. You can max it out. If you're running all this crud on Skyrim, you can max it out. This, if you want to cheat, give yourself some more camping perks, whatever, go ahead. And then we're going to exit out of that. And then RLO is realistic lighting overhaul. Yeah, I actually do keep this because otherwise it is a glitch. You're going to see lights cut in, cut out, cut in, cut out. It's kind of annoying. That's the only thing in that one you need, and then other than that, configure Wildcat. How hard do you want combat to be? Power of self-vision. This is to improve the third person. I actually like it to be a little bit to the right. I'm going to zoom in as much as possible. And I want to zoom out as much as possible. So that's the there. So now you can actually see the guy wearing his lovely fur armor. Ever so handsome. Manos. Hands-Of-Fate. Okay. Now, he has heard some kind of beast, something big, something kind of like a tyrannosaur. If you look, you can actually see that smoke cut out. Yeah, that's a Bethesda error. We tried to fix it with the mod. I'm going to get out of this rain, though. Because my guy is cold, he is wet. He's got a little snowflake on him. So let's go on through here. I don't know what's out here, so I'm just gonna sneak through. I actually like third person for some of the sneaking, especially when I'm going through here. I am drenched. Wetness. You are soaking from rain or swimming, which significantly increases your rate of exposure. Dry off by standing near a fire, or spending enough time out of the rain and not swimming. Or put more clothes on, increase your coverage. That is the sort of thing that survival does, that frostfall does. Anyhow, like I said, this is what a modern Skyrim looks like. Okay, I don't know what's up there. I'll just check my map. But I am going in the correct direction. I need to investigate housing. You'll notice that this isn't the original starting point. That's because I'm using a mod called Live Another Life. Live Another Life is fantastic. It lets you start at a different point. You're not going to get the standard wagon full, oh, you're awake, where you meet Ralof and then Havdar tries to kill you. Okay, so there is someone who sees me. I don't know who sees me, but Manos ain't happy. Okay. He's getting colder. He's getting wetter. We're gonna go into this lovely cave because nothing bad ever came from caves. Again, this is what it looks like when you do everything in the Septon Guide. You will wind up with this. The heads-up display, the HUD that I'm using, I am using a combination. This is iHUD, immersive HUD. Yes, there's that word again, immersive. And I am using SkyHUD. You use them together. They actually do pair up nicely. This is the Oblivion layout, and basically trying to strip it down a bit. I'll get my thoughts. Oh, it's warm in here. But that's it. These are all 2K textures again. Like I said, you can do the 4K, but why? This is what 2K looks like, and it looks pretty fantastic. This is at 3620 by 2048 res. This is an extremely high resolution. I think with all of this crud running, I'm down to about 40 frames per second, which I'm actually okay with. Video shoots at 30, and film shoots at shade under 24. So, oh, there's some kind of animal in here. So, these are not searchable. They should be. I'm gonna whine. So, now what's going on here? We're gonna see. Now, when you do all of these various spots, you're gonna see the volumetric fog. That is all the cloud stuff up there, and it really. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Who's this fellow? Oh, he doesn't look too good. I'm also kind of hungry, so I'm going to eat an apple. Hey, buddy. Hey, pal. Hey, you okay? You sick? You sleepy? Are you hurt? Hey. Hey, what's wrong? Okay, let's talk to Hadvar. I came to see what was going on here. Now, this is a glitch with the Live Another Life one. It's not voiced. Whatever. That's fine, honestly. Hadvar is going to sit and shiver and be in pain until you give him something to heal him. I'm going to eat another apple. Because for whatever reason... okay, there we go. Now I'm satisfied. If you look at my green stamina bar down there now, it's full. Why, yes, I have one right here. I don't think that's how Manos sounds. Give him a potion of healing. Okay. Oh, he got it quick. Oh, better run. Cave's gonna collapse. It won't. You can bust around. You can go back. You can clear out all of Helgen, or you can come back to Helgen, which is what I do. I've got another mod that has restoring Helgen being, sort of an option. And we're gonna leave now. Somebody help! Oh no! There are tavern wenches out here. And Hadvar is just going to get his ass kicked over and over again. This isn't the mod glitch. This is actually my game save. I'm going to leave the dude here because I could fix it. Basically, every time he stands up, they beat the crap out of him. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Hey, what's going on, man? Like I said, I could go help him, but I'm not gonna. He'll wind up back in. Again, this is the beat up on Hadvar Club. If you look down there, you'll see the footprints in the snow. That is because of the footprints mod. Hey, buddy, you okay? Oh. Had to get in one last blow, didn't you? And he's just going to run into rocks. So, anyways, I'm going to go back to camp. They're going to beat up on each other for a while. Ain't nobody got time for that. My work here is done. You can see off in the distance, that campfire is still running. This is, when you're a hunter in the woods, this is what you start off with. Talk to Alvor and Riverwood. Okay, well then. I guess I'd better go find Riverwood. Lake and Alta Tower. I think I did a TMM cheat on here. I have everything on the map that I shouldn't have. Talk to Alvor and Riverwood. Again, I have fast travel disabled, which means that yes, I need to walk everywhere. which is okay. Also, when you consider that I'm running the survival and crossfall and camping, what that means is that I need to hunt as I go. I can pull up my weapons here. I actually might have to lower cold weather. Again, as you can see, there's a hunter camp. This dude does not like me. Neither of them do. I'm just going to keep walking. I'm level 1. I would have a sword. And here we are on the road. Just going to give you a quick look at the road. This is real roads. This is what it winds up looking like when you get everything set right. It looks like an actual road. It's real nice. Obviously, right run to the left, drifting to the right, and Riverwood is that way. Hey, buddy. You hear a dragon? Dragon? Okay. What I'm saying is that I am now getting too cold to really be able to function right. Which is one of the amazing things about this game when you mod the heck out of it. Forget if I need to cross that river to get to Riverwood. No, I don't. I need to turn right. So I'm very cold. I'm going to go down here. And Riverwood is going to be coming up. Obviously, my guy's cold. He's got short sleeves. You figure he'd have fur sleeves, but he does not. He'll get sleeves later in life. Oh, got some salmon here. I wonder if there's any bears. Okay, he's freezing these. The elephant took us off, so I'm going to keep running. Gotta get to Riverwood. I can run, but that's going to eat his stamina. That's another thing that mods do. Makes it a little more realistic. You can't just marathon sprint for forever. Obviously in Whiterun hold, I can tell by the banner. I got myself lost again. Actually I didn't. Still going in the right way. Now if you look up at that lantern that's glowing, that's a pairing of two mods. That's Skyrim and Windy. Also Lanterns of Skyrim. And yeah, that lantern is going to be glowing all over the place. One thing that isn't addressed is where are all these people lighting all these candles for the roadside? I've never figured that one out, but whatever. If you ever see a tree stump like this, or like that little pointy one, that means you can find yourself some mushrooms on it. There they are. Harvest your mushrooms. Now, EMB, one of the things EMB does is it gives you this wonderful depth of field. Very photographic. Oh, here we are. It looks like I have found white rum. I am soaked to the bone. I smell like a wet animal. And I probably smell pretty bad too.
A dragon! I saw a dragon!
What is it now, Mother?
It was the biggest mountain, the blackest mountain. It flew right over the barrel.
Dragons now, is it? Please, Mother. If you keep on like this, I'm going to and I've got better things to do than listen to more guilty episodes.
You'll see. It was a dragon. It'll kill us all, and then you'll believe me.
That is A+ voice acting. I just saw an animal. I suspect it was a dog. Now I'm going to harvest some moss. If I ever cared, I would do a mod to get rid of most of the death bell. I've got a kid. I wouldn't care to keep a highly poisonous plant just hanging around her. But then again, I suppose this is how they keep the population down. Oh. Now, these people here look better than they do ordinarily, because this is what total character makeover looks like. And here is Hellthor. Hey buddy, how you doing?
Ain't every day we get visitors in Riverwood. Hadvar? How do you know him? I'd be glad to help a friend of Hadvar, but you didn't answer my question. How do you know him? What? A dragon? In Helgen? That explains what I saw earlier. Flying down the valley from the south. I was hoping I was wrong about what I thought it was. A dragon here in Skyrim. What's this world coming to? First the war, now dragons. Trouble loves company, they say. The Jarl needs to know if there's a dragon on the loose. Riverwood is defenseless. We need to get word to Jarl Balgruuf in Whiterun to send whatever soldiers he can. If you'll do that for me, I'll be in your head.
I love how he's just like casually sharpening that blade infinitely right now. So, you know, there we go.
Like I said, I'm glad to help in any way I can.
And
Help
now
yourself
I'm
to
naked.
whatever you need.
Now I'm
Within
not.
reason.
Okay, well, I'm going to need a tent. Thank you. Clothing for walking around town. Bread for eating. Carrots for eating. Cheese, because I like cheese. I can use some boots. Give me something to drink. Some iron. More potions. More apples. That seemed reasonable, didn't it? I can do this right now. Maybe I will get some smithing up.
Yes, actually. How about you smith me an iron dagger? Here's everything you need to make one. Go ahead. Anytime, friend.
Okay. I'm gonna make him an iron dagger because I care.
Take what you need, my friend. Not bad, but it's a little dull. How about you sharpen it up? Just need a bit of metal and the grindstone over there. Keep safe.
Okay, well, buddy. Let me use your grindstone. Actually, what I really like is, yeah, that's actually pretty accurate. Okay, get up. Thank you.
Hello, friend.
I sharpen the dagger.
This looks good. You put time into your blades. They'll serve you well when you need them. You want to keep helping? How about you make some armor? Let's start by tanning some leather on the rack.
Okay,
It's good to see you again.
I'm gonna jump over him.
What are you doing that for?
Well, you're glitched up, buddy.
Take what you need, my friend. Ah, good. A lot of weapons and armor need. Let's see if you can make a hide helmet. Here's the rest of what you need.
Okay, so now hide helmet.
Good to see you. Huh. I should hire you to be my assistant at this rate. Let's improve the fit. Take this leather to the workbench over there. All right.
And we're just gonna craft that. Boom.
Hello, friend. You have talent. Keep working at your craft, and you'll be a fine smith one day. Why don't you keep that dagger and helmet? Maybe you'll remember me when you're making Skyforged steel, huh?
Okay, so now he's my friend. I can take all his supplies. He's doing his squats, which is fine by me.
Aye.
Okay, so now that I've got that, I'm actually going to equip it again. I'm putting boots on, simply because it's got better coverage. And so this is pretty much it. I'm gonna, I think, stop here. Simply because I could go on for forever. That's the beauty of this game, is that the game lasts for forever. So with that, what's his face? Manos is going to hang out here, get himself kind of warm. And thank you for listening and watching to this first podcast. Hopefully gonna go through and do more. I think I'm probably going to lower the sound a little bit, so that you can hear me over the sound. In fact, while I'm here, I'm going to change the audio. I think that the ambience is a little high. True Storms Rain. That's what's too high. This is yet another mod. True Storms. And save all that. So, once again, thank you, and we'll rejoin later. Okay, bye.